Welcome to Made for More podcast, where faith and personal growth converge. I'm Julia, and I'm honored to guide you on a journey of empowerment and transformation alongside our occasional co-host, Omar. We are passionate believers and advocates for unlocking your God-given full potential. Join us as we explore the intersection of faith, life, business, and relationships, igniting a fire within to embrace the truth that your life is destined for greatness. Together, we'll uncover strategies, insights, and stories that inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Get ready to embark on a fulfilling quest towards personal and professional fulfillment, guided by faith and the unwavering belief that you, my friend, are made for more. Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome back to a new episode of Julia Keeps It Real. And I am just going to be real and honest. I would not be here today if it was not for Jessie Lee. I have been wanting to produce another episode for some time. It has been months, you guys. You know, when you go on a hiatus and you're like, okay, it's going to be a little bit. And then you're like, okay, I'm gonna do another episode. And then I just, for the sake of wanting to figure out with the new season of life, where my branding is, where business is, where I want to go. I know the things I want to do, as far as where I want to go with, the podcast in the future, like in the next, maybe even year or two, but like this in-between season, what do I do? And so I'm like, do I just sit and wait, or do I produce a few things here and there? And I just wasn't really sure, because I'm not doing as much as I was doing with business. So do I still share some business tips? Do I share for the people that are kind of like in slow business, or just, maybe passive business, not like go hard? Do I share for people that are in their faith journey and where, you are trying to stay consistent with that and grow with that and trust the process in that? I wasn't really sure, but when somebody, and I'm going to really try my best to hold back my tears. I literally was hopping before I pressed, the record button. I was about to go grab some tissue, and I was like, no, boss up. Jessie Lee, like, channel your inner boss Lee for this podcast. And for those who were not blessed enough, because it is a blessing. And for y'all, those in the network marketing, social selling, internet women crushing business world, the millions of people that got to know Jessie Lee and know who I'm talking about, it's a blessing to know Jessie Lee. So if you don't know who she was, she passed away here recently at the young age of 35. It's really hard to know if it was due to cancer or if it was due to kidney stones, or reports are that maybe like there was an infection of the kidneys, and her body was like the septic was happening because of that. So I would like to say that she beat cancer, right? She won the battle from the reports that she was saying, and that it was other parts that was kind of the infection that was kind of taking over. But needless to say, she was having some health complications is what ended up happening. And she had the biggest heart. She was a giver. She was a multi-millionaire business boss babe. And she gave all her, literally, she's the kind of person that was like, I feel like would just even say, I'll rest when I'm dead, right? Like, she was literally battling cancer and still coaching people. And a part of me, honestly, was sometimes be like, dang, does this girl ever rest? And from somebody like me that was just very much anti-hustle culture, that was a part of me that kind of was like, I don't know, girl, like, Jessie Lee, I'm gonna need you to like sit down somewhere. But she, I think after seeing how many people have poured into, in her passing, I think I realized, and I saw somebody posted whenever she was coming back from like MD Anderson, or when she was there, they're like, Jessie Lee, are you gonna like kind of, put your accelerator program on hold or on pause, or like, heal, give yourself time to rest? And all those things. And she's like, why would I stop doing what I'm doing? Like, why would I stop coaching? Why would I stop working? Like, this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about. This is my legacy. This is my impact. And it's interesting because I was explaining her life to somebody about how she wanted to live a legacy and leave a legacy. And I keep thinking, especially being very close in her age, I saw myself in her very much a lot, like meeting, the love of your life, like later on in life, even though I know she's, has had other seasons of life with, married and all those things, but still like not having kids. And so she really wanted to like get married, have kids, and, all those things, and then not being able to live to see that all the way through, and was trying to build that legacy. But at the same time, we all know she left a legacy, right? And so I see that, like I get to see the outpour of love, and it just reminds me, and I think that, and I hope that we all can, like, as I say this, like if we pass away tomorrow, I hope you know that you've left some type of imprint on somebody's life, right? Like whether you're a mom, a daughter, a son, a sister, a friend. But when you see somebody, whether they are an author, a celebrity, a teacher, a coach, whatever, and they pass away, and you see, like if you happen to see somebody, like let's say you go to a funeral and they're like they have to have it in a gym because it's like packed out, or you see like the outpour of love, it just reminds you of like, man, that's a huge impact that person left. And it hopefully inspires you to want to leave an imprint and a legacy like that. And so I kept saying, okay, my podcast has been top charts in lots of places, and not that top charts necessarily rankings and things as a doing thing. However, it's leaving impacts and going places. It's helping people somewhere, right? And I've been wanting to get back into it, but it also reminds me that this is something that I felt like God put in my heart for a reason. And I know the vision that this podcast is going to continue to do over time. Like that's where I feel like it's directing to go. And on not just this podcast, like potential other things when it comes to devotionals and writing and books and things, and the future motivational part of my life, right? Not just in my educational life. And so it was one of those moments where I just felt like when you have your person like Jessie Lee, that's your business coach, like that's somebody that I truly have been coached by one-on-one. She was here in the Dallas area where I live, and so she has thankfully, she helped catapulted some of my business, like one of my other businesses. She she didn't purchase, I sent products for her. So she did Facebook Lives for me, helped people. She got me customers. She got people to join my team, all because she did Facebook Lives for me. She did team trainings for me for free. She was somebody that just selfishly would have conversations with you, phone call, text, and things like that. And then, like I said, I was a part of her coaching program in the beginning when she did this accelerator program. And I remember telling her years ago, like, I can't believe you do all this stuff for free. You need to start paying people. And at that time, she said, I will never do a coaching program. I love doing, her Prove It. Like, I don't want to do coaching. I just don't want to do it. And then I love that she finally, like, somebody slapped her and was like, listen, sister, do this. And I think 2 years later, she finally started her coaching program. But anyway, all that's to say, she was on a mission to change the world. And this is not for you. I'm going to say this very clearly. This episode is not for you if you're the kind of person that's like, yeah, I want to make an impact just during my 9 to 5 and I'm done. Like, clock in, clock out, I'm good. Like, this episode's not for you if you're like, I'm cool with my small little, like my little rock in the ocean, like my rock being that little rock that's there, and that's my impact. Like that little ripple, like, and it dies off and I'm good. Like, this isn't for you, okay? This is for people that like want their big impact. Like, you literally want to be a game changer, a legacy builder. Like, people still mention your name decades after you pass away. Like, maybe they don't mention your name, but your impact, like who you are and what you built inside somebody else lives on for years after. Like, you've impacted thousands or millions of lives. Like, I actually was having a conversation with Omar, and if you don't know who that is, that's my boyfriend. Like, he was in a couple episodes before, and I love that he was so inspiring to me because I was not taking the loss of Jessie Lee very well. And he said, I want you to know that you've impacted many people like Jessie Lee. And even if you may not be as known as her, you've impacted people, because it doesn't matter. Like, our impact doesn't have to be known. So it could be as simple as, like, if you're a teacher, because I know I have a lot of teachers that listen in because of education, right? You might have a kid in your classroom that, because of you and the fact that you had that belief in him, y'all, so many people do not realize that all it takes is for somebody to believe in them, for that spark to start in them. Like, the presidents of the United States had to literally say, hey, I believe you could be the president of the United States one day. And that's all it took, was for them to believe that it could be, right? Somebody literally looked at doctors and said, like, you're so smart, I think you could be a doctor one day. And that was the belief it took for them to go out and say, you know what? I could be a brain surgeon because my teacher said so, because my dad said so, because my brother said so. Right? And so because of people like you, teachers, pastors, friends, whoever you are, whenever you go out there and you shine your light, or you are who you are and you're doing whatever you're doing, and you leave that impression, or you make that difference doing whatever your gift is for people, that impact creates that ripple effect. And because of you, you may not know that that was something that carried out. And it's so great because we sometimes don't know that because of some people's mom or dad or their teacher or their pastor or whoever it was a person that created that great giant that they are, right? That great pastor that we all know, or that great celebrity that we all know. But it was because of those hidden figures that created that impact. So I just want you to know that this episode is truly for the people that want to keep going when it gets hard. Keep shining your light when it's dark. This is for the people that are saying, I want to figure out what my calling is, my purpose. I want to keep going even when it's hard. And I do believe in resting because God gave us Sabbath for that reason. So I know, like I said, like, I love Jessie Lee's heart because she was one of those that I feel like God rest her soul. I wish she would have rested more when she was on this planet Earth. But I do still believe that if you're not dead, God's not done. And he's still working in you, and you still have a job to do here on Earth. And so one thing that I loved is her friend, Courtney, her best friend. I happened to watch her stories this morning, and it was on my heart to go just see, how she was doing. And she was saying, how can I work? Like, how can I do this? Like, I can't do this. And her husband was like, yes, you can. Because she showed you how to do this. And what that meant is, like, Jessie Lee showed you how to do this. She showed you through her pain, through her cancer, through her hurt, through her depression, through her breakups, through all her trials and tribulations that, she was going through. Because Jessie Lee shared it all on her social, how to keep going day in and day out. She literally never skipped days. Like, she literally would go live every single day, I think for like 4 years straight. Like, imagine a life. How many of us have like a bad day and we don't even go to work some days and you're just like, I'm just having a bad day. I have to go, like, this is real life. Okay. I just had a delivery and it's my food. And if I don't pick up my food off of this doorstep, the ants will get it. So we're just gonna, and y'all know I don't even cut my podcast. So this is real life right now. But how many of us will literally, like, you're having a bad day, you're not going to go into work, right? Or you're not going to show your face on a Facebook Live For heaven's sake, if you've been crying, or if you had a breakup, or if you're not feeling good, or whatever the case may be, imagine going live every single day for, I don't know, I think it was for 3 years for sure. Okay? Through it all, every day. Not just for 10 minutes, like for an hour sometimes. So the point of that is showing up to, yes, work our business, but also leave an impact, to show light, to motivate people, to inspire people. And I don't mean like you have to go live, but I'm just saying to show up, to not give up. And so I just thought that that was beautiful, that she was like, no, she would want me to show up. She would want me to keep going. She would want me to process the pain and to trust the process, but to keep going. And so I'm going to tie this into the very next day. I went to church, and I was already kind of feeling like needing some reminders, inspiration, and all that anyway, about like stepping boldly more into things, even though I'm into my new position and loving that, but even stepping more boldly into my position at work. But even like I said, like I still know that I'm made for more, meant for more, and things like that. And so with this, I want to just go ahead and say, I love that Jessie Lee was never afraid to talk about her faith and God, and at the same time still take action, like have faith in the process, but take action. And so at church, our pastor was talking about your calling and your purpose. And he's basically just saying, if you do these 3 things, you will find your calling, you will live out your purpose. And this just kind of goes back into Jessie Lee living out her legacy. And so if you don't have your paper and your pencil for your Grow Journal, I'm just going to go ahead and say, grab your paper and pencil or your pen and write these 3 things down. Number 1, to figure out your calling and to live out your purpose, you got to figure out what breaks your heart. Like, what keeps you up at night? What can't you stand? What irritates you? What drives you crazy? What's your thing? Okay. If you haven't figured that out by now, like, you got to figure that out. Like, most of the time, if you don't know, maybe even your loved ones would be able to tell you, like, you are so passionate about this topic. You're so passionate about homeless, people. You're so passionate about the animals shelter. You're so passionate about kids. You're so passionate about, the elders, like whatever it is. Then number 2 is you got to figure out your gifts. I've done so many podcast episodes about your spiritual gifts. So you can literally scroll back and check some of those out. And see what gifting you have, but what are you good at? And again, rely on your people. Your people in your life will tell you, and that's what I love about God, is he doesn't want to hide this from you. He is such a good father. He's going to say, like, listen, I'm going to send you some people to affirm this for you. So if you don't know what you're good at, your friends, your family are going to compliment you on this and say, man, you really are a good singer. Because if you're not a good singer, you're probably not going to get compliments on it. Like, even if you think you're a good singer, you're probably not going to get compliments about it. So it's probably not going to be a gift. Like, I wish I could sing, but the only people that told me I'm a good singer are my babies in my classroom. Whenever, like, the echoing wall would make me sound good. So I know I'm not a good singer because only my little 6th graders that loved me told me that. So that's not one of my giftings. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if I was a great singer, that would be one of my giftings. But you know what people do tell me is that I'm a great leader, that I'm a great systems person, that I would be a great president or superintendent and things like that. So that tells me I'm great at leading. You know what people do tell me is that I'm a great teacher, right? So I know that my gifting is in leading and teaching and coaching and things like that, right? So more than likely, if you don't know what your gifting is, if someone's like, man, you're such a great host, like you serve so well, like most of the time people will tell you because God's that good. He doesn't want to hide it from you. He's going to put that people in your life that are going to tell you what you're good at and affirm that for you. And then the 3rd thing is, where's the need? Like, we are here to advance his kingdom and to glorify God. And so where can you help? Where can you serve? Figure out where that need is. And that is where, when you tie all those 3 things together, you look at that and figure out, this is where I can literally find my purpose. Like look at I would literally either make a circle and overlap them or make 3 columns and figure out like where can I overlap or overlay these 3 things and find my purpose. So for me, obviously, as an example, like I can do a couple of things because what breaks my heart is kids not getting a great education, not having equal rights to education, not having great teachers, that equality of that. What's my gifting? And like I mentioned, teaching and leading. Where's the need? Where's the help? Obviously, with my job now, getting great resources, math support, math teachers, coaching, guidance, and not just on one campus, but across the school district. That's a need. That was a need, and it still is a need, and I'm working through those needs on an elementary campus in my district. And then, guess what? Not just in my district, I've been doing meetups in our Metroplex. How can I even make collaborating and networking with other coordinators, directors, and even district leaders, superintendents. I've talked to people in different districts across our Dallas Metroplex. So just working and partnering with people, that's a need, and that's helping and serving all in there. That's a purpose, right? So then I can even take that a step further, because as much as I love that, I still feel like I haven't tapped into my overall, where I feel like coaching and people with life and their purpose and motivating people and their best, like what your God talent gifts are, right? With this podcast, having people step into their best self and even living out their best version of themselves, right? That goes into, once again, the coaching and leading. And I feel like there's a need for that. I want to literally make heaven crowded. And so that would be another ministry that I can tap into. So I hope that's helpful. You just got to find it, find your calling. You got to walk by faith. Like literally sometimes we just sit and we're kind of scared and nervous to try things and do things, and we got to take that action. So that is something that I feel like was on my heart to share. It's a little bit of everything from church, from Pastor Josh at Lake Point, and then being inspired by Jessie Lee, her life, and also just unfortunately her passing, but her take action approach and keep going approach led a life of purpose and legacy and impact. And again, it was truly what allowed me to say, stop playing small, stop allowing excuses and other things to not let me get back on this mic and hit the record button for this podcast, because it's been way too long. And I'm so thankful for her. I'm so thankful that I also was able to like boss up and bring on my bossly and hold back the tears, because I literally had them. And so I can't wait to bring you guys some more episodes. I hope that was valuable for you to step boldly into something today, step boldly into something tomorrow, and start doing little by little something that brings you joy, something that can advance the kingdom, and something that you feel like is living out your purpose and living out your legacy. As always, I love you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I would love to help you. Right now, I'm not doing any personal one-on-one coaching, but I would just be happy to be a blessing to you for free, for no cost. Just reach out. I would be happy to just chat with you and just help you with your purpose and your calling. So you can reach out to me on Facebook, on social media. We can just chat it up, and we can go from there. If you need any help with coaching or anything like that, I'd be happy to help y'all. Love you. Bye.